Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Salon Marketing Live. I'm Stephanie Mitchell from Sunnystone Marketing, and I am so excited today because I have an amazing special guest that I would love to introduce you to. She's Eunice Montes Hamaguchi, and she is from BellaBar Clean Beauty Lounge. And thank you so much for being here with me today, Eunice.
Oh, thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. So you're coming to us all the way from California today. And
Yes.
we are going to chat all about you, your business, your experience in the beauty industry, because you have so much to share. So just for a little bit of background, Eunice is part of my Facebook group, Salon Social Media Mavens, and once in a while she shares things about her business, from her website to her Instagram, and I'm always blown away by her amazing marketing. Being a marketing person, I get so excited about this kind of thing. So I wanted to bring Eunice on today to chat with us about BellaBar, how she's grown it, what her experience has been, etc. So without further ado, Eunice, can you just tell us, maybe just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about who you are personally, and then just a little bit about BellaBar as well.
Okay, perfect. So my name is Eunice. So I am the owner and creative director, marketing, HR. I'm basically everything. So I'm a one-woman show as far as like the management side goes. And then I have a team of about like 5 different technicians doing other services. My background is actually, I'm a classically trained chef. So I had no background in the beauty industry before starting my business, which is insane. And thinking about that now, it's just crazy. So never in my life did I ever think I would be in the beauty industry and own a salon, spa. So it's just crazy that I'm here, and the world just works in, mysterious ways. And BellaBar is all about clean beauty and non-toxic living. We do everything from, non-toxic mani-pedis to organic facials, waxing, and we also retail clean beauty, skincare, makeup, and then just a few products as well. So
Awesome.
I do a lot of everything.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
You must be crazy busy. So you were just telling me before when we were chatting that you recently, or you will be celebrating your 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
So the business
it'll be 2 years in July.
Yeah. So it's a relatively new business, and I would love to kind of like go into how it came about, how the past few years have been for you. But first of all, how did you make the jump from being a chef to jumping into the beauty industry?
Oh my goodness. It was, after being in the food industry, I started working for an event planner. So that kind of, everything has helped me, be who I am and like the business person I am today. So event planning, marketing, that all just helped me as far as like the marketing purposes, go in my business. But it really started from my own like personal need for something like this.
Yeah.
I've always been very health conscious, eating very clean, organic food, and then I became pregnant. And then I was even more health conscious then because I was, feeding another person inside me, and I didn't realize that all the products that I was using can potentially harm my child. And so I was like looking for somewhere that I can, still be pampered because I still like nice things and, feel pretty and all that good stuff, but I just couldn't find somewhere that I felt comfortable, that wasn't just like so smelly and had a lot of fumes and it just, BellaBar was just grew out of like what I personally wanted. So it's just, that's just how it happened. It's crazy.
Wow. So that's the perfect way to do it. The last thing that you want when you build a business, no matter what kind of business it is to build something and then you find out that there's no need for it. But for you built something based on your own needs. So that means that I'm assuming that you ended up having a ton of people that you're like, wow, there are so many other people like me who were looking for something like this and didn't find it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think there's probably maybe like one other salon in Orange County, which Orange County is huge, that I would consider like clean and non-toxic because all the other people, it's like right now those are really big buzzwords and everyone wants to use it. And just in reality, if you really do your research, it's very hard to come by.
Yeah, I bet. So, tell us about so you made the decision, you're like, there's nothing else out there like this. How did you go? Like, what were the first steps that you took from, okay, I'm serious about this, I'm going to do it? What were the first things that you did, like, in preparation for opening BellaBar?
Oh my goodness. So
the first a ton of things.
So the idea came when I was maybe like 8 months pregnant, and then I don't even remember. It was very long ago. So my daughter is almost 5 now.
Yeah.
So the idea was a long time ago, and then I created a business plan. And from then that business plan was around maybe like 2 years. And my husband, and I would always go back to it and like, oh, I love this. I'm going to, add this to that and whatnot. And I never really, I wanted to do it, but I was just so scared. So I never was really like super serious until my husband one day was just like, you know what, you just need to do it. Like, I'm going to support you. I know your family's going to support you. And so it was crazy because it literally happened so fast. And if it didn't happen that fast, I probably would have chickened out, knowing like how much was going to be involved. And so from the day that we were like, okay, we're really serious was New Year's Eve. And then I signed and found a space in February. So it was
that's fast.
45 days. Yeah. And I basically had to make it happen in a very short amount of time. And that's just how I work, which is crazy. Like, I just do things without really, I was like, I'll just figure it out and wait, which is not something that I recommend everyone to do. I just have a really good way of being resourceful and just, I don't know. I just am crazy.
No, but that, you know what? That oftentimes, like you said before, that works so well in some ways because if you overthink things, a lot of times you'll end up coming up with a huge list of reasons of why it's not going to work.
Yes, exactly. So it was very quick. So we found a contractor, we did the logos, everything, I kind of already had like a mood board. Okay, this is what I want it to look like. I think the name was probably the hardest part. I think everyone's,
Naming.
So
it takes a long time. It takes a lot longer than you think that it will.
Yes. And so, I've always been very, I like nice things and very visual. So I already had an idea of what I wanted. And it was just, finding the right space and, the decor and the design and all that stuff. That took a little bit longer, but we had about, oh my goodness, my thing just fell.
Oh,
sorry.
That's okay. No, don't worry.
About, 90 days to figure it all out.
You mean from the time, before opening, before launching?
Yeah, from when I signed my lease, until when we opened. So I did things kind of backwards.
Yeah, 90 days is such a short amount of time. So in that time, in those 90 days, what were you already kind of starting to plan so that once you opened, you weren't going to open your doors to, an empty floor? How were you already starting to plan it so that you would have clients coming in?
I guess just my network. It was really, we did a soft opening at first because I didn't know, how everything was going to flow.
Yeah.
And I just posted on my Facebook. It was like, hey, friends, I'm opening up my business. I haven't told anybody yet because I didn't want to say something and then it falls through or whatever. I'm always once it's out in the universe, it's out and it's, there's no going back. So I just posted on my Facebook, we're doing a soft opening. We gave a certain percentage off and it just was crazy the first day. I thought no one was going to show up, to be honest with you. And it was so busy and I'm so thankful, for my friends and all of the people that I know. They've always been so supportive of me and some idea. And that just kind of was okay, this is really going to happen and this is going to work. People want something like this. And it's been like that ever since. So, not crazy busy, but, the support and people wanting to come and support the business. Yeah,
for sure. I bet especially when you first open your doors, because you're so doubtful, you put so much time and money and effort into it, you almost feel like how it goes at the beginning is going to like kind of set the tone for the rest of it. So when you do have it busy, you're like, I made the right decision.
Yes. I mean, it was very busy and then it wasn't. But we can talk more about that because it's just, it's a roller coaster for sure.
I bet.
So I definitely had to do a lot more marketing, to get it to where it is today.
Yeah, that's the next thing that I wanted to ask you about. So for your marketing, first of all, you talked a little bit about like your visual brand. So you've been very intentional about how you present it in terms of visually, making sure that everything is kind of on brand. So that started from, you said you made a mood board?
Yes. So I always, I love Pinterest,
Yeah, me too.
I just have this big BellaBar. Oh, I like these chairs. I like this glass. It was just, I'm just a very visual person. And, it started with the mood board and a lot of Pinterest boards. And from there, I kind of, consolidated everything. I was like, okay, this is really what I want.
Yeah. So how would you kind of like define your visual brand?
It's pink. The pink, it's very pink, but not in like an obnoxious, girly way. It's very calming. People always comment how beautiful the space is and how, it's like open. It's kind of, if I was single and had my own home, this is how I would decorate. So it's very, I don't know, it's calm. It's definitely nothing like nowhere I've ever been. It's like we got publicated in a magazine and they were like, it's like going to your girlfriend's house and, just hanging out for a drink, but you're actually getting your mani-pedis done. That's just how it is. It's very girly, but still feminine and classy. Nothing that is, that's really like my style. It's just very classic, but still very feminine at the same time.
Yeah, I love how you have done your branding. I mean, I've seen the online part of it, so like your website and your Instagram and your logo, but from what it seems like, and I've seen photos as well, you've extended that into the inside and what the design of your salon is like.
Yes,
so
yes.
Was it ever, like, did you ever have to make the hard decision of investing money in how you want it to look like internally, design-wise inside your salon, but then also seeing it as kind of like an investment? I mean, I can imagine it's expensive to deck out this place exactly how you envision it in your mind so that it does look like, having cocktails at a girl's house as opposed to like an empty kind of bleak place. So do you feel like it's been well worth the financial investment that you put into it to make it look a certain way in terms of like paying off for your business?
Absolutely. I think that's people in this world, everything has to be Instagram worthy. And if you are Instagram worthy, people are going to come just to take pictures.
Yeah.
And people do come just to take pictures. And it's grown. It wasn't like this beautiful space immediately. I mean, it was nice. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, but now it is. And little by little, I keep reinvesting money into how it looks. And I just recently did kind of like a mini remodel of the retail area and just moved things around. And everyone was just like, wow, like, I remember your desk was this way and now it's this way. So I always change things up just to have the flow be better. And I don't know, it's just, I'm crazy. I like to change things up, and it's good for retail too. Everyone changes their window displays all the time. And so do I. So I've kind of, I've had to do a lot of changes as the season goes by, and it's definitely a good investment in, all the decor and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing is like so often when we're looking for new business, and I'm sure you've experienced this yourself with clients that come in, they're looking for new business, they're researching you, and other than obviously, seeing photos of your work and understanding what your staff is like, that kind of thing, they really want to know what it looks like on the inside. So, they'll judge you based on your Google business photos showing what your salon looks like. They'll judge you based, when they go on your website, they want to see pictures of it. So have you also kind of used that imagery as a promotional tool as well?
Absolutely. I market how I shop or how I, solicit other businesses. It's like, I always look on their Instagram and I look at how the restaurant looks or how this hair salon looks. Like I am very visual and I know a lot of people are too, especially now in the Instagram world.
Yeah.
So that's how I, position the business as well. It's like, okay, you have to have really good pictures. You have to be very clear and clean and high, resolution and all of that because it sells. It sells.
Yes, it definitely does. So amazing job with that. When it comes to the clean beauty part of your business and your philosophy in terms of taking care of the environment, but also taking care of our bodies, how have you kind of incorporated that into how you sell and promote your services?
That's really where that's the whole philosophy is, non-toxic, clean, environmentally friendly. So everything we do is that. There's just no other plan B or whatnot. Everything we do is, I am very sincere in what I do and people have, trusted me with that. So I can't go backwards and I don't want to go backwards because that's just not who I am. So I don't know. It's just who I am and people know that about me.
Yeah.
I'm kind of considered a little bit of an expert in that field. Because I have done my research. I research a lot and I'm always learning and I'm always, finding the next good thing. And I'm very picky. I'm very, very picky with like what I do and what products I bring in. Sorry, someone just walked in.
No, that's okay. I assumed.
Yeah.
So you're picky with the products that you have, and you're also seen as an expert. So would you say that for the clean beauty part, and considering that it's part of everything that you do at your salon, would you say that like the educational side is important as well for how you sell your services?
Absolutely. We train our team, and the majority of my team have kind of like converted them just because I've told them so much and they're like, you know what, you're right. I'm so thankful that you told me all of this. I'm going to start like looking at the ingredients. So I love my team because they really are, BellaBar. They live and breathe that philosophy too now. And so it's taken a while, but everyone kind of is all about that clean living lifestyle as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then how about for yourself, as in like you were seen as the expert? Do you feel like for your business as well that you kind of are promoting yourself or branding yourself as the expert? And if so, how are you doing that?
How am I doing that? Just Instagram. It's kind of, I don't know. It's hard. That's very hard. That's a very hard question, like how I would do that. But I'm very active on social media. So I'm always kind of like, okay, I started this, weekly thing where like Wednesdays is like, let's switch it Wednesday. So where I do, one conventional product and I do a swap for something that's clean and organic. So,
I've seen that on your Instagram. I love it.
Yeah, we'll do like the NARS BB cream. I'm like, hey, this is why I don't use it and why I don't recommend it because it has silicones and it's going to clog your skin and whatnot. Here's a better alternative, same or lower price point. Going to do the same things and then talk about like why it's more beneficial for them. So it's a lot of educating. I educate, my followers and my clients as well. I'm like, hey, because it's hard. It's hard to, if anyone's ever tried to switch over to the natural side, it's so hard. And for me, it took a very long time to where I got to today.
Why do you think it's so hard to switch over?
There's just so much misinformation out there. And for the normal person, they're not going to do all the research that I did because I had a lot of time when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
And then even after that, because I wasn't working for the first 6 months, and I'm like, oh my God, what's the best product for my baby? And I was just doing so much research and Googling every single ingredient and then even back then, what I knew then to like what I know now is just, oh my God, I was just like naive back then. And now it's very hard. There's, like I said, so much misinformation. There's just so many ingredients out there that you don't know if they're safe or not unless you've done the research and you're, Googling every single one.
So a lot of it, I guess, is just people being able to trust that you are the expert resource or your staff is the expert resource in terms of you're knowledgeable about the ingredients, you're knowledgeable even about the services that you're providing and how they're different and why it's an actual real thing. It's not just something that, is a buzzword or something like that.
Yeah. So what I do is when I bring a brand in or I'm thinking about a brand, I don't have everything I carry as far as like skincare and makeup is completely natural. So it either has to be plant-based, mineral-based, or fruit-based. So those are my big, requirements. And I'm not a big fan of, not all synthetics are bad, but for me, if I can find something that's like naturally derived, I'm gonna go with that product over something that is, synthetic. So everything from like our lipsticks, they're either fruit based. They literally like smash fruits and make a sort of pigment without using any synthetic dyes and stuff like that. And I'll educate the whoever's watching, like why I don't use synthetic dyes, because they're actually derived from petroleum. It's a petroleum byproduct. Basically, you're putting that on your lips, and no one wants to eat, gasoline, essentially. So then that's what they're like, oh yeah, I mean, I never thought about that. And you can easily like fact check that stuff. You can Google like, how do they create synthetic dyes? And it'll tell you it's a petroleum byproduct. So it's not like I'm lying. People can easily be like, oh, this girl is like full of, BS or whatnot. Yeah. It's, like I said, it's easily fact checkable. Yeah. I have done the research. I've been about this whole lifestyle for 5+ years now. So I think, that gives you a lot of credibility.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely. That's awesome that you guys have kind of become the go-to place to learn about that as well. So you were talking before about how part of what you do in terms of like educating and also branding yourself as that expert is through Instagram. So your Instagram feed is amazing. I love it. I follow you guys on Instagram. You're awesome. So what do you think, like, first of all, do you feel like Instagram has been a really good tool for your business for actually bringing in business instead of just like engagement in the social media part of it?
I always, in the beginning, I was very like skeptical about the whole thing. It's like, oh my God, I'm spending so much time on, social media. And it is its own job. Yeah. It is very hard to maintain and keep up with that. But yes, I do see clients who are like, I always, every time someone walks, how did you hear about us? Is this your first time here? And they're like, yeah, I found you through Instagram, or I don't know, I just found you online somewhere. So I try to always like figure out how people have heard of us, and it's either through word of mouth or it's through Instagram.
Well, that means that you're doing something incredibly right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've always like, sometimes I'll fall off and I'll see like the difference when I'm not as active on social media as when I am. Like, even as far as like retail goes, I'll start talking about this one product and it just sells out. It's crazy. That's awesome. Crazy good, right? Yeah. And so now I'm just trying to figure out how to, because I get people in the door now, because a lot of our clients are local, and now it's just being able to spread that, all over through the e-commerce site.
Yeah, definitely. So I also want to chat with you about the e-commerce side because that's so exciting and something I'm so interested in. But first I wanted to ask you, so you've done an amazing job with Instagram, and in the past almost 2 years that you've been open, what would you say is the number one important thing that you've learned about using Instagram effectively for your business?
Oh my goodness. Effectively. It's people like pretty things. I mean, obviously aesthetically pleasing is one. Two, people want to learn something. They don't just want to look at something pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have something, if you're an expert in whatever it is, people like tutorials. They love that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So basically do whatever you're attracted to, do that and see if that works for you and your business.
So, I guess you have also, we chatted about this before in terms of people loving pretty things. So you've got a pretty aesthetic inside of your salon, but you've also invested in professional photography as well.
Yes. I work with a photographer who's actually a really good friend of mine now. And I don't have the biggest marketing budget. It looks like I do, but
it really does. It looks like you have a massive budget.
Yeah, I am very resourceful, and that's one thing you could go. I'm very resourceful, also known as cheap, because I don't really have a lot of money to spend. I'm always reinvesting that into new inventory and products and stuff like that. That's where like my main focus is right now. So I'll trade services with my photographer friend. I'm like, hey, you want some Matty Petties for free? You can come in and take some pictures. So, people are all about that. And I have a really good network. I noticed that networking is really, really important for your business.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known that earlier on. I probably wouldn't have struggled as much as I did. And it's hard asking for help because I'm not someone to ask for help at all. I'm very like, I could do it myself, blah, 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 blah.
I'm like that too. Just, I'll figure it out. I don't need anyone's help.
Exactly. My husband's always like, what can I do? I was like, no. It'll be faster if I do it. I'll just be stressed and overwhelmed. But yeah, you really need to tap into your network because people are always willing to help. Like I had a huge event on Saturday and I was so stressed out because I had a personal party, like my brother's graduation on Sunday. So I was planning all these things and I was just overwhelmed. And Friday, a client of ours, she was like, you look stressed out. How can I help? And I was like, no, I'm just like, I just got a big event on Saturday. She's like, let me help you. Like, I would love to come and just, help you. And she came with me. And she did amazing. And, it was awesome. Like people want to help you and you should just be willing to accept that help. And
that's awesome.
I've learned that. Yeah.
It's such a good lesson to learn.
Yes, I have. I think I've done good in life because I have a lot of good karma. So definitely, yeah, I have really great friends and a really great client base. So I'm very thankful and grateful.
That's awesome. So you were talking about networking and how it's been so important for building your business that maybe at the beginning it was something that you kind of overlooked and didn't realize it. So has it mostly been like if you're doing something like an event or something that people can help you, like the example you just gave, or have there been other ways that your personal network has helped you to grow your business?
So how my business has grown is through collaborating with other like-minded businesses. So I do a lot of pop-ups at my store. I have the space for that. So I'll invite like another women-owned business, either like I work really well with like a jewelry company. She makes her own handmade jewelry and she'll come in for like Mother's Day or Valentine's Day and she'll come and sell and her following comes to me and, vice versa. So that's how you should, not use your network, but work together with other like-minded businesses. Yeah. So I do things like that all the time. And that's how a lot of people have found me as well. So I always am all about collabing.
That's awesome. So how do you find these other businesses to collaborate? Are they kind of like friends of friends or do you actively like go out and search for them?
So, mostly Instagram, either someone will approach me or I will approach. Recently started working with an organic spray tan company and I saw her feed and it was super cute. It was just like, I was like, oh, BellaBar company. This is what it would look like. So her aesthetic is also pink and it's all about like organic and the palm leaves, just like we are. And I was like, hey, would you ever be interested in, popping up here? I have a lot of clients who are health conscious, but they still want a nice spray tan. So she's like, yeah, of course, I would love to. And so she comes in every now and then during events, and we've kind of referred each other's clients to each other.
Oh, that's awesome. So that kind of collaboration for sure definitely helps. And then when it's like-minded businesses, it can't just be any business. When it's like-minded businesses, they bring you clients and you bring them clients because it's the same type of person. Exactly.
Yeah. Like you need to know who you're marketing to. So I also started working with one of my girlfriends, or she actually found me. She reached out to me via Instagram, was like, hey, I love your aesthetics. It's super pretty. Because she's also pink too. So I guess like my people are all pink and pretty. So that's how we find each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, you kind of know who's going to work and who's not. Like I'm not going to reach out to someone who's like gothic and dark.
Yeah.
Because that's not really like my client base, kind of thing. So I think you really just need to know who your target market is.
Yeah, definitely. And Instagram is a really good way of finding that out too, because it's kind of a reflection of what their business is like.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's chat about your e-commerce store. So a few months ago you launched it. Is that right? It's relatively new.
Yes, it is relatively new. So I'm still trying to figure out everything. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's another business in itself, for sure.
What made you decide to take on such a huge project and, like you said, like another layer onto your business? What made you decide that was the right decision for you?
I had a lot of people on Instagram was like, oh, you're so far. Instagram's like, you're reaching the world, essentially, if you can reach that far. And they're like, oh, do you have an online store? And I'm like, no, but call me and I'll ship it to you. We could just pay over the phone, but no one does that. No one has time for that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I really want to be able to reach, clean beauty worldwide. Like I want to be able to help other people transition. And so that's why I decided to do that. And I'm still figuring it all out. But yeah, I mean, I have over 25 brands now that I carry. So, and they're all from me. They're large, well-known companies. So either smaller, small like indie lines as well.
Yeah. So essentially the reason that, if I can kind of like summarize what you're saying, is that the reason that you brought it on, your e-commerce, is because you wanted to reach a different group of people than the people who would come in just to your location. You wanted to go beyond them.
Yes. And people were like, oh, I wish, I could buy this online.
Yeah.
And I would sometimes have to refer people to other websites. Oh, you can find this here. And so I was like, why am I giving other people business when I can, be doing it myself? So I finally decided to go ahead and launch that.
That's awesome. So is it essentially the same products that you're selling at your location, you're also selling them online, or you're also increasing your selection?
No, it's the same products, completely same. Everything is synced. So whatever I have in stores will sync online. So through Shopify is a really great platform. It's super easy to use.
Yeah.
And that's why we actually switched from Booker. We used to use Booker for our, online booking and inventory and POS. And so we had to switch that over to Shopify.
Okay, so for your booking, for your services bookings, you use Shopify as well?
No, I actually use Acuity. That was actually the transition was really, really hard because there's not a one size fits all for like salon spas.
Yeah.
Where, So we had to go from one platform to multiple ones. So that was a little bit of a task, is finding the right one. Yeah. So I use Acuity for the online booking and scheduling, and then Shopify for our POS and inventory and online commerce.
Awesome. So far, having launched it within the past few months, is it going in the direction that you want it to? How is it going with your online sales?
I mean, it started good because everyone's like, oh, you're online now. And then now it's just kind of figuring out how to grow it from there. So I've just been listening to a lot of podcasts and just doing a lot of research. And then we're going to start launching our brand ambassador program this month. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, it's completely different. Like I have to learn how to run a whole new business. Because selling online is hard, especially when it comes to skincare and makeup, because people like to, feel it. They like to experience it and try it out. So I'm still figuring out how to, make sales through that. Because the majority of my sales come from people who have already been here.
Right.
And so they're just like, oh, I don't want to drive 30, 40 minutes. I'm just going to get it shipped to my house.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So apart from the people who are already your clients, have already been in there, the new people who find you, is it through Instagram that they find you, or are you doing other things to promote it as well?
Right now, it's just solely through Instagram and Facebook. I will be doing Google Ads, trying to figure that out, because I do have Google Ads for the salon. So now it's just figuring out how to do that, and Facebook ads as well. It's a lot of an investment going that route. So I think, and after, like I said, most of the time I can figure it out and do it myself. Just right now, I just don't have the time. So finding someone to help me with that, who actually knows what they're doing, rather than trying to figure it out on the way and losing a lot of money.
Yeah. So what about your brand ambassadors? How is that going to work?
So it's basically, there's a lot of influencers. We used to work with influencers a lot in the beginning, and I recommend it for some businesses, but not for others. But as far as like skincare and makeup, it's like finding the right people who are about that clean living and lifestyle, and giving them, some perks, for them to like talk about the product. So it's hard to do that because I'm trying to find like genuine, authentic people who love like our products.
Yeah.
And it's basically like, hey, look, I just bought this lipstick. I love it so much. It's beautiful. You can buy it on BellaBar.beauty.com.
Yeah.
And then they get like a little promo code, and then, that's how you track the sales and stuff like that. And so they get like a portion of commission. So it's like affiliate program.
Yeah.
So affiliate marketing, I think, is probably the best route for us, because I don't want to pay someone to just talk about something that they don't really care about. So it's like, hey, if you really love like our, products, please share it with your network and your friends.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that's so cool. So, the e-commerce thing, super like new, exciting journey. And like you said, it's like a different beast. It's a completely different way of promoting that side, marketing it, etc. So going back to BellaBar, your physical location, we chatted about a few different ways that you've been promoting it. So a lot through Instagram. A lot of people find you through word of mouth. You said you're doing Google Ads. I'm guessing people find you on Facebook as well. So it seems like you've pretty much got a really good machine working for you in the sense of like having new clients coming in. But one thing that I'm really curious about is retaining your clients and keeping them coming back. So do you have any advice based on your experience, what are some of your favorite ways of not attracting new clients, but keeping the clients that you have, keeping them happy, bringing them back for more appointments and increasing sales from them?
Yes. Like I said, we have a really good client base, and why they come back is really about the experience. And this is where my, restaurant background comes into play, because I used to work both front and back of house. So it was really about guest service and, how do you want to be treated, and giving them a really good experience. Yeah. So quality products, because everything we use is very good. It's like amazing. Just because it's like non-toxic and natural doesn't mean that it has to, wear off and not last. So it's really, service, the quality of products, and just the experience and just the overall vibe that we give is what brings people back. Like we have clients who have been with us from day one still coming back. So this is amazing. And it's like family. We treat them like family. It's a very, like, you're really coming here, and we're just catching up on like how, the last 2 weeks were since we last saw you. Yeah. So we generally care about our clients, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I treat people how I want to be treated.
So giving them that amazing experience, and you guys have something unique that they definitely connect with. That not just you as, your personalities and that kind of thing, but also you have a philosophy that they believe in as well with the clean beauty. So I'm sure that's really important too. So how do you keep in touch with clients between appointments, or how do you promote maybe events or promotions that you're doing to your existing customer base?
So we do have an online email database. So that helps a lot, doing, e-blasts and, newsletters to our clients and, emailing them. I don't try to email too much, but definitely once a month we'll send something like, hey, this is what we're up to this month. And then maybe an email a week before the event. So definitely utilizing, MailChimp and doing that stuff, which I know you totally are advocate for. And yes,
I love it. I love email marketing, so I'm always curious to hear about how you use it.
Yes, use your emails, because literally that will sell. We will have an event that's not even booked, and then I'll send in an email hey, you guys, this is coming up, and then it'll just, it'll save the day. So definitely your emails, because not everybody sees your Instagrams and your Facebooks.
For sure.
Yeah, so definitely email marketing. And then we are next to Starbucks, so we get a lot of traffic. So I always have a little sandwich board outside, hey, this is what we're up to this week,
awesome.
or stuff like that. And then of course Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. So I also wanted to ask you kind of apart from, the strategic, business building and marketing and promotion and stuff like that, I love that. But I'm also really curious about kind of the more personal side of owning a business. So you've been in business for 2 years now. What do you feel are some of the biggest challenges that you've faced for your business, and kind of some of the ways that those things helped you to grow either as a person or as a business owner?
It's hard. Owning a business is so hard, and I think the hardest part is the loneliness. I can't vent to my husband, hey, this is what I'm dealing with today, because he doesn't own a business. He works for someone else's business. And so if he didn't show up tomorrow, nothing would happen. But if I didn't show up tomorrow, then everything just comes crashing down, kind of thing. So definitely loneliness. So I joined a group of other women business owners. And so being able to vent or just talk about our highs and our lows is very helpful. And also I have a really, I have a really good network of women business owners now, and we'll just sit down and just talk, and then it'll somehow end up being a little business 101. So one of my girlfriends is really good on social media, and she's oh, you should do this, and this is how you do this. And we have a little mini, what's it called? Mini tutorial from her. And
kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And we were just sitting for lunch, and I was oh my God, we used to actually have these once a month, just sit down and just share what we know and how we've, grown each other's businesses. And groups like yours, your Facebook group is amazing.
I'm so glad about that.
Being able to share, but also learn from other business owners. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's so important. To be able to connect with other people who are entrepreneurs. And I totally get that too, because I feel the same way a lot of times too. It's there's something, especially for us who are really independent. So it sounds like you and I are pretty similar in the sense of oh, I'll just figure it out. I'll do everything. And you put a lot on your shoulders, but then you don't have really anyone to lighten the load for you. So you just pile more and more and more on, and it can get a little bit isolating because you don't know who to turn to sometimes.
Yeah, and it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard. But like I said, if you just surround yourself with really good people, they'll be there to help. Like I said, my client was I'll just help you. I want to learn. I think it would be fun working at BellaBar. And I was yeah, it is fun. And I love, and if you don't love what you're doing, it's going to be super miserable. But I legitimately love my clients. I love being here. It's fun, but I'm also a mom. So I have to figure out that whole work-life balance and, yeah, it was very, very tough in the beginning. I had a lot of
can
mom guilt.
imagine. Do you
So
feel like now you've kind of found a good balance?
yes and no. Yeah, it's like day by day. So, I mean, Thursday I took off because I was just like so overwhelmed with the whole like events on the weekend, which is nice because I like, called one of the girls, like, hey, can you come in? So now that I have a really good team, which is very hard to find, especially, seeing all of the other salon owners Facebooks were always venting about,
Not
your
being able to find,
team.
good team members.
Yeah, it's very hard. So I'm very thankful, but it takes a lot of work. And I mean, if someone can tell me how to find a good team, please let me know. Cause I'm very grateful right now, and I'm hoping to keep them for a long time.
Yeah. In your area, is there a lot of like mobility, like people moving around from business to business, or do people kind of tend to stay where they are?
In the beginning, they would move. I mean, it's hard. The beauty industry, it's very hard for people to stay, especially if they're like trying to do something else. A lot of people want to be, solo, business owners, which is great. But they also want to kind of piggyback on you. So it's tough.
It's hard. It's a hard balance of like, you want to be able to teach them everything and invest in them, etc. But then sometimes you have it of like, well, this person might end up leaving, but you don't really have another option. You have to be able to invest and trust and hope that they stick around long enough. And then, if they leave, you have to wish them well as well, which is kind of hard.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, no bad feelings here, but it's hard. It's hard finding someone, and also finding someone in like my space, because it's like so small, and there's not a lot of people who are like about that life in this beauty space. So it is very, very difficult hiring.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's just one of those challenges that I think everybody deals with.
Yeah, for sure. It's very.
Yeah, so, we talked about where your business is at how you started, where your business is at right now. We talked about your e-commerce and, your goal of wanting to be able to grow your audience and people that you're serving to larger than just people who can come in. Eunice, where do you see your business going within the next, let's say, 5 years? Where do you want it to be at?
I would definitely like the online store to be like major, known as one of like the bigger clean beauty retailers, because there's a few now. So I would like to be in that space, in that level. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I would like to open up a second store. Like I would like to open up a second brick and mortar. So to be able to service either, right now we're in North County. So Orange County, like I said, is really big. So right now we're in North County. I would like to open something in South County. So either that or LA, but LA is just like a whole nother beast. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. But that's definitely where I see my business going, is expanding.
Yeah. So 2 locations or maybe even 3. And do you feel like you want to be able to kind of change your role in the business too once you get to that point?
Absolutely. That's kind of what I'm trying to do now, is working more on my business rather than in my business, because that was taking up a lot of my time. And I was just like, I can't do anything when I'm like servicing clients and here all the time. So you're just getting pulled in different directions. So I definitely want to be able to learn how to delegate and hire people to help me. So that's for sure. It's growing the team, like the management team, and finding someone to help grow the e-commerce side of it too.
Yeah, definitely. So do you feel like that has been kind of like a tough transition to make, of like working less one-on-one with the clients and more kind of like delegation and management and that kind of thing? Has it been kind of like a weird transition?
Yes, I think so. It's like I wasn't here. I feel like I wasn't here for a long time. That's why I was kind of like a little MIA from our conversation. Because I haven't been here since I feel like Wednesday, and I came back today and I'm like, oh my goodness, I have so much to do. And I'm hiring I'm in the process of like finding someone to help me too. So it's hard because you want to do everything yourself.
Yeah.
And it's very hard. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think it's
So.
just one of those things, like your business goes through different phases and you kind of have to almost become like a different person at different stages of your business. Like for me right now, I'm the same as you. Like I said, like I want to do everything. I want to kind of have everything under my control, but I'm very close to that, next stage where I'm like, taking a few steps back and trusting other people and trusting kind of like how that process works of like me, like you said, working on the business instead of working in it. So for sure I know kind of like where those challenges lie. And I think that is, again, it's something that everybody kind of has to deal with if they want their business to grow. I mean, some people are okay with just keeping it at the level and keeping it where they are. But, a lot of us have bigger dreams and want something bigger than that.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't do everything yourself as much as you want to. And I mean, I've grown it to this point and I'm like super proud of myself.
Yeah,
I'm
you
like,
should
wow,
be.
like I did all that without any help, and it's like, okay, now imagine what I could do if I can put 100% into growing the business rather than being here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So
one last question I wanted to ask you, Eunice. So you're pretty, deep into the beauty industry. It's your life. You're working on the product side, on the service side. You're growing the online side. Where do you see the beauty industry going in the next few years? Like, how do you see it evolving and changing?
Oh, that is so tough. I definitely think that clean beauty is here to stay. It's not a trend. It's a lifestyle. People are really, they're really concerned about what's going on their bodies.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of like legislation trying to get through to actually, have changes that are required because the FDA doesn't regulate anything.
Yeah.
So everything on the stores and the shelves and being sold there's no like authority being like, hey, you can't put this in there. So definitely, I see a lot of changes for good. I think maybe not good for some companies, but I mean, really, they shouldn't be in business if they're just poisoning us.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Lots of legislation is coming up. So I think lots of more, what's the word? Just changes in the right direction. Beauty industry is always changing. Oh my goodness, it's so hard to keep up with the trends.
Yeah,
it's so hard. I think everyone is really into branding now, into branding, salons and their businesses. It's not just opening up their doors and being a really good hairstylist. I don't think that cuts it anymore. I think you really have to,
be more intentional about what you're doing and kind of stand for something instead of just being there and hoping that people are going to come in.
Yeah, because people follow you for who you are. So if you, like you said, if you're intentional in like what you're doing, I think you'll do really well.
Yeah, definitely. I agree so much. Branding is so important. And it's also not just about like your visual brand and that kind of thing, but also what you believe in, what your philosophy is, and how you kind of express that in everything that you do. And I mean, you're a perfect example of that. You started out with this kind of dream of, okay, I have a need for making sure that everything that goes on my body is clean and is healthy for me. And I don't see that, so I'm fulfilling it. And I see that you've kind of built your whole business around that philosophy, and it's obviously done really well for you.
Thank you. I know it's very, oh my goodness, it's so hard, but I was just like, when you were sending the questions, like, oh, what are you most proud of? I was like, I'm so proud that I'm still here. my doors are still open and I can still, pay my employees because everything I do, I try to do it the correct way. And there's just so many especially beauty businesses that are operating illegally and unethically. And so the fact that I'm still here, and I have been doing everything, the right way, how it should be, even though it's like super expensive. But I think Yeah, there's even legislation coming out for beauty businesses, like not being able to hire contractors and, 1099s and things like that. So I think there's going to be a lot of changes and a lot of people aren't going to be happy, but I think it's the right thing to do.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that kind of thing, it brings new challenges, but it also puts a lot of responsibility in the hands of the business owners of like, okay, so you have to pay your employees more. Maybe you do have to raise your prices, but that also means that you have to provide a different level of services. And you also have to elevate your marketing and your business and kind of to match that, because otherwise it's just a race to the bottom in terms of pricing and who can pay their employees the least.
Yeah, for sure. And we do a lot of the revenue that we do is like do manis and pedis, and we're not like a lot higher, but we are higher than the corner salon who's like not paying their employees properly or misclassifying them. So that's definitely a challenge for us. It's like, oh, well, so-and-so was $35 for a mani pedi and you're charging me $65. And I'm like, well, I have to pay my employees. I have rent to pay.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting a different level of service.
Yeah, for sure.
Here than you are over there. So, it's up to you.
Yeah.
And I have the clients who appreciate that and value that. And then the people who don't obviously aren't my target market.
Yeah, they're not even for you anyway. And maybe you could get them in once, but they're not necessarily going to keep coming back. So it's better to concentrate on the people who are meant for you anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Eunice, it has been so much fun chatting with you. Thank you so much for answering all my very prying questions. But I know that, based on your experience with growing BellaBar and kind of just, yourself, like your own personal development, it's so helpful for other people who are watching this to kind of get a peek inside other business owners, see what their challenges are, see how they've grown their business. So I know it's been super, super helpful. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. And thank you so much for, having a Facebook group like the one that you have, because it's super helpful with being able to hear other business owners, their struggles and what works for them and what doesn't work for them as well. Because those groups are so beneficial. So I say join as many as you can.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a part of a lot and I learn something from every one of them.
Me too. Awesome. Well, I'm glad it's been helpful for you. All right. Thank you again so much, Eunice. And for everyone watching, if you want to check out Eunice's business, BellaBar, I've tagged it in the description of the video. And I will see you all next Tuesday for another live video. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Talk soon.
Bye.